love the excitement, and I love the sparring and the music you get. But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it that you almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth where the fallout lands, especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like, it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. Maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the finger. But I think we can achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music, with collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing. And, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen.
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
So what we see here, Jay-Z's talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef. Basically, he's saying he wished it never happened because of the effect that it has had on the industry, but also the effect on both of these men, right? It got too big. It got too far. It went to places where it shouldn't have been. You have a lot of these things that they're, talking about, and people are continuing to keep this thing going because they're making money off of this beef. It was more than rap. It started getting personal. A lot of people were chiming in and shouldn't have been talking to it, but a lot of people made a lot of money off of this, so they had to continue to push it. What we saw from this beef, and I talked about this on the No Filter Morning Show, is it showed how big of a gap there is between Kendrick and Drake and everybody else. So what happened was, when they had this beef, there was nothing else to talk about, so people kept pushing it. There was no other artist bringing good music to where it can give this a break. So what we saw was a lot of people have these platforms and these podcasts and these armies or whatever pushing a certain side because that's how they made money. It wasn't about the lyrics. It was just about he hates you, XYZ outside of the music. And I think that's what Jay-Z is talking about. He's talking about it became bigger than rap, but that in the worst way because of social media. People were actively making a lot of money, and their only platform was to talk about this beef 24/7. That's the reason why this beef lasts so long. But also, too, it shows you the problem in hip hop. You have two great artists and everybody else is down here. There was nobody else in there putting music out and having a, semi-long, buzz like Kendrick and Drake did. Kendrick had a hell of a year. He had some banging songs. Drake did too. But how did that help out hip hop? Not really, not a lot, because you had one artist, which was Kendrick, dominate, and you had Drake a little bit, and he chilled, but nobody else was there to continually keep the buzz going around something else other than the beef. So it became that hip hop was just mainly just the Kendrick and Drake beef. And I believe that made hip hop look bad because it just shows that there's no other acts that has the star power that can get that much attention or somewhere near that same attention as a Kendrick and a Drake. So that's what it is. It went too far, and Jay-Z didn't like that. He in his opinion, it went too far because I feel like he said, it damaged the industry. It did more damage and show how bad the industry was, because it wasn't like when Lil Wayne was out and he was collabing with everybody. Jay-Z collabing with everybody. Even when Kendrick collabing with, Future, like everybody was getting some of the buzz, some of the shine. But I just think that last year, Kendrick ran it. He ran it. But also, too, you had a lot of people on the outside picking the side and pushing. And do I feel like everybody was on Kendrick's side? I'm going to say no, but I think a lot of people chose to be on Kendrick's side because it made them more money. They pushed Kendrick more, not because he's not a good artist. He's a great artist, but people were, like I said, podcasts. I'm going to talk more and be in favor of this person because this person's outlasting this person, and I can continue to make money off of this person. So when we see from hip hop, the podcast game, people creating their own shows, it really has damaged hip hop because they're not talking about the music anymore. They're talking about the issues outside of the music, and that's what Jay-Z's kind of implying, in my interpretation.
Now it's just like every day they're just
Like
trying
they're
to
still
take,
talking about it.
it's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song I like this.
Yeah.
No, it's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like trying to, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Again, I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back.
Yeah.
And with
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the beef was monumental as far as the music that came out of it, right? Kendrick's music, Drake's music, Kendrick's album, going to the Super Bowl. Great for those two artists, but it took a couple step back for the industry. It showed that people are only pushing certain things in this industry that makes people money. And that's what he's highlighting. He was just like, look, it's great for these guys. They're going to make their money regardless because they're big artists. But what about the other guys that had albums and they flopped? That's supposed to have good albums, but they flopped because nobody gave them attention because nobody said, well, if I talk about that, I'm not going to make money. So that's the problem when you have these podcasts, right, that are not neutral. They're just talking about the hottest thing to continue to keep their numbers up. And that's what he's implying as far as like, they may have great years, but what about all these people? Some people might have somebody talk about their album for a week and then it goes away, right? Because they're still talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef because that's what's hot. That's what people are watching, but they're not exposing other people to other people's music. So those people that created all their time to create this music and drop flopped because everybody's still pushing the Drake and Kendrick because that's where the money is. And that's what you see in the music industry as far as these podcasts. They're pushing whatever is hot and not just pushing just the industry or the hip hop as a whole, because hip hop has went down a lot. And that's what Jay-Z is saying. It needs to be more collaborations. It needs to be more everybody putting out music together because the industry needs to move ahead, not just the top two guys.
we just grown so much that I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna say it, I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Interesting.
I hate that I have this point of view. I do, because I know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like. I hate it. It's just how I feel about
Well,
it.
it even kind of did a personal thing that you chose Kendrick for the Super Bowl. It's like, oh man, he's choosing the side and he's he's not.
Like I don't have, what do I have to do with that? I chose the guy that was having a monster year. I think it was the right choice.
Word.
It wasn't in some sort of alliance to a battle. I don't.
Yeah.
What I care about them two guys battling, like, what's that got to do with me?
Word.
Have at it. Have fun. It's almost like, not just me, by the way. They drag everybody in it. Like, everyone's part of this conspiracy to undermine Drake, I guess. But it's like, what the fuck? Like, what? I'm Jay-Z. or due respect to him. I'm no. Do respectfully.
Word.
Like, for what? For
It forced people to pick a side instead of just enjoying the music. People were forced to pick a side, right? And it was hard for people, especially, like I said, the shows, the podcasts. Those guys have to be more neutral. What you start to see was they were started out neutral, and then they start seeing that one guy was starting to get more buzz, and they started to garner their attention and garner their support for that person. Drake stopped. He said, okay, cool, you got it. Kendrick kept going, banging bangers, have his own music, had an album, all of that. He rolled the wave. Everybody just now were just on Kendrick's side because he was hot. And saying Drake this, Drake that. Where the industry, you got to have these neutral places where the music is being judged just based off of the music, not all the extra stuff. So, good interview by Hove. Will hip hop come back Will it be respected? We'll see in the future. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's always going to keep this thing rock, keep it going. Make sure you tune into the No Filter Morning Show Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I appreciate you guys' support, and I'm out.